I feel like the age is going younger and younger. We're seeing women as early as their late 30s to start seeing, perimenopause symptoms. They're still getting their period, but they're noticing that they have hot flashes. They're noticing that they're getting some aches and, joint pains.
What is one thing every woman should understand about her skin before menopause?
Women really need to first listen to good people around them, board-certified dermatologists, people like you who do these great podcasts and go in depth into the skin and really teach on what is a comprehensive routine. And also be in tune with the small changes that their skin is going through as their hormones start fluctuating.
This is Skin Talks, the podcast where we go deeper than skin, products, and trends and explore the conversations that actually matter in health, beauty, wellness, and confidence.
We're a mother-daughter duo and the founders of Boutique Skin Envie. After years inside the industry, we've learned that health is never just about what you use. It's about everything you digest, how you think, how you live, what you eat, how you move, what you put on your skin, and how you feel in your own body.
If you're looking for insight, honesty, and a fresh perspective on the future of health, beauty, and wellness, you're in the right place.
Let's get into it.
Skin Talks podcast by Boutique Skin Envie, hosted by Beate and Natascha.
Many women spend decades learning how to care for their skin. You find the products that work, you develop a routine, you finally feel like you understand your skin, and then somewhere in your 40s or 50s, everything changes. Your skin becomes thinner, drier, more reactive, wrinkles appear faster, and you notice your jowls and the lack of firmness in the neck and lower face. So what is happening? Today, we're talking about menopause, hormones, and the science behind how estrogen decline fundamentally changes the biology of the skin. Welcome back to Skin Talks, Elsa Berdugo. Thank you for joining us today,
Yes,
Elsa.
we're very
It's
excited.
really
Thank
great.
you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's start with the big picture. What happens hormonally when a woman enters perimenopause and menopause?
Good question. When a woman enters perimenopause, essentially the ovaries begin to produce fluctuating and gradually declining levels of estrogen and progesterone, leading to irregular periods. Now, this hormonal shift causes sharp changes that often trigger symptoms such as hot flashes, night sweats, mood disruptions. We've all heard of them. And as this woman transitions into menopause, the production of these hormones drops significantly and permanently, leading to a complete stop of her periods. Now, menopause is a single moment in time. It officially marks 12 months after a woman's final menstrual period, essentially.
So they consider you to only be in menopause once you haven't had your period for exactly 12 months kind of thing.
Exactement. Absolutely.
But there's a lead in. And there's there's a lead in and there's also an out after the 12 months. You can still, as a woman, have a lot of symptoms of menopause, like insomnia. A lot of different things can happen. Weight gain in certain areas. You're not changing anything about your diet, but it happens. So in general, do you know how long a woman is in perimenopause? Like, when can it start?
It starts typically, I feel like the age is going younger and younger. We used to say that it starts in women should start within her mid 40s. And now more of the research is coming out since, thank goodness, we're having so much more research around this change in a woman's life. We're seeing women as early as their late 30s to start seeing, perimenopause symptoms. They're still getting their period, but they're noticing that they have hot flashes. They're noticing that they're getting some aches and, joint pains. Their sleep cycles aren't as they used to be. So definitely we're saying toward the late 30s. And so it can really last between 10 and 20 years, with the average age of menopause about 51 years old.
Yeah. And do you think that the environment has anything to do with people going into menopause at earlier stages? Do you think it has to do with how we nourish our bodies? Do you think it has environmental implications?
So when you're thinking of perimenopause and menopause, typically this really only happens because of fluctuating hormones.
Yeah.
Now, a good question would be, does the environment have an impact on these hormones? I can't say. I think I'd have to check that for.
Yeah. We just keep on hearing about young girls getting their periods earlier right? And so like menstrual cycles are starting earlier, and therefore menopause is starting earlier, and they're linking it a lot from what we understand and conversations we've had to nutrition, exercise, sleep. A lot of different factors play
Absolutely.
into why all this is happening. But you know,
Definitely.
when we go into perimenopause and menopause years, which like you said can last anywhere from 10 to 20 years, I feel like so many women are kind of like waking up, and it's all of a sudden overnight you look at yourself and you say, okay, like something happened
Mhm.
overnight. Why do you think
Mhm.
that is, and what is that? What causes that?
Extremely common. I'm a woman in her early 50s. I'm perimenopausal myself. All of the women around me, all my friends of the same age, even a little younger, some a little older, are all going through the same thing. So we're talking about this nonstop. And it is that first thing. Why is it so sudden? Let's be honest, it's not sudden. It is a gradual change that is happening, of course. But there are, three main factors that really lead to that tipping point. First, as your hormone levels, we were saying that, the hormone levels fluctuate so wildly. They really go through their peaks and troughs, and that will lead to sudden bouts of inflammation and laxity and sensitivity, even adult acne. And then, that will translate to a decrease of skin oils and sebum, for example. So that, of course, will also lead to all of a sudden my skin is extremely dry and nothing I put on will quench it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, and which I find is really the one where everybody's like, what's going on with my face, is estrogen is the main cofactor to fibroblast activity, which is the main cofactor to collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid. So I really think of the skin resilient as a rubber band, right? Throughout the years, our 20s and our 30s, that rubber band is nice and strong, and it has that snap back to really come back to normal and natural looking skin. Whereas as we get into that 40s and 50s, that's where the rubber band loses its snap and the skin all of a sudden loses all of its density and laxity. And all of a sudden, what's going on? Why do I look so much older than I did 3 years ago, for example?
Yeah, I know. So estrogen plays such an important role in the skin, right? Like you said before, it has an effect on the collagen and the elastin production. But what else? What else does what else does estrogen do for the skin?
Estrogen is, okay, we call it the architect of the skin. Okay. Estrogen is basically the multitasking manager. Okay. It is all about tasking your skin to be healthy and to work in an optimal way. And it really works at almost every layer and structure of the skin. In a nutshell, estrogen is what keeps your skin pathways running smoothly. It's responsible for stimulating collagen elastin proteins, hyaluronic acid, ceramides, reducing inflammatory signals. It essentially signals the skin to remain dense, hydrated, and resilient. So it's not just one thing, it's a slew of things that lead to a breaking down of the skin, not only at the surface, but way deep down into the scaffolding and the architecture of our skin.
Very interesting.
It plays a massive role.
Yeah, it has
Huge.
and regenerative medicine as a result is becoming so popular because of this knowledge that we have today. So we talk about, the architecture, the multitasker and all of that stuff. And we talked about before having, all of a sudden you wake up and your skin feels like it's changed overnight, even though it's a gradual process. So the first thing we basically notice is lack of density, lack of hydration, like you said before, all these things. Is there anything else that can happen when you're going through perimenopause or menopause that is, let's say, for example, acne? Can acne all of a sudden develop in a woman that's going through this? Or, for example, rosacea?
Like any other skin
Any
concern?
other types of things?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I was talking about the collagen elastin, just like we mentioned. Now let's talk about the fact that estrogen also plays a vital role in creating more hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid,
the
we know,
plump.
can hold, merci, exact. So the plump the volume, then it's essentially a huge sponge filled with water that gives you volume. But it also helps with hydration, and that hydration helps with that surface skin. So when you're looking at the epidermal layer, when you're looking at that stratum corneum, that thick layer of protective skin right on the surface of your skin, that's the first thing you need to keep healthy, and resilient in order for any routine, any treatment to function properly. When that breaks down, it breaks down because your skin isn't making enough hyaluronic acid, and it's also not making enough ceramides, which are the key components of your natural moisturizing factors in between your skin cells.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you're having a full breakdown of your skin. Your skin surface is cracking, and between those cracks, aggressors, right, toxins, pollution, all are able to penetrate the skin. What that does is it creates this cascade of hyperinflammation. Mm-hmm. And inflammation will lead to rosacea, will lead to redness.
Yeah,
will
it's
lead
the
to
cause of all
aging.
disease in the body, more or less, right? We are finding that out more and more. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
I was listening to a podcast not too long ago that said the average North American woman needs to visit a doctor or visits a doctor 7 times an average before they ever even bring up the conversation around menopause. So, you're going in, you're not feeling well, you've got joint pains, you're not sleeping, you feel depressed, you're unclear, you've got all of these things going on. Let's face it, 50% of the population is going through this, but it's something that was never really properly studied in the medical field. So 7 times going to see a doctor before they actually say, hey, maybe you're in this moment of your life. And I would imagine the same applies to the skin. So we see these things happening. We break out rosacea, all of a sudden have melasma, which you can develop also at that time of your life.
Absolutely.
Dry skin, a compromised barrier, all of these things going on. And we go to see specialists who don't even consider the fact that our skin is in a state of extreme estrogen decline, and that there's things that need to be done foundationally to be able to restore the skin, which I find so interesting because we see this all the time at Boutique Skin Envie and also at our Medi Spa. People come in and all of a sudden in their 40s and 50s, things start happening. And the first thing we go to is that, but it's not common that people look at these things. And I really love the fact that it's becoming more and more talked about. And, there used to be this kind of shame factor with women going through this change of life, like hide it, pretend it's not there, kind of go through
Absolutely.
it, uncomfortable with it, right?
Yeah,
because of the way our culture is.
Exactement. A lot of women felt they were alone, and it was just a change. It was just something. It's going to pass, right?
And you just got to go through it on your own and accept it. You've got to accept it and go through it. And we do have to accept it and go through it, but there's a way, I think, to embrace it and take power from it at the same time, right? And to tackle it in a way that's good for you. I find it really interesting that we're in this phase of awareness.
I think overall, though, women's health is being talked about more and more, like regardless of just menopause, but just like everything that women go through, it's much more of like the top of conversation, which is really, really amazing.
Yeah,
it really is.
We also talked about, men go through something similar. They don't have the same estrogen.
Andropause. Nope.
It's called, what is it called? Andropause?
Andropause? Yes.
Andropause. So men go through men's menopause now. And we're also hearing more about that, but their skin reacts differently because they don't have a high level of estrogen. So what happens with a man?
With men, there's obviously a testosterone issue. So men have a much higher degree of testosterone. So there's a lot of things that come out of that. I think that when it comes to the skin, they stay very stable throughout their lives. And that's why men will typically age gracefully, right? They look better when they get older. Their skin looks a bit thicker. It has a bit of a rosiness to it. The lines make them look sexy. The silver fox thing going on. With women, c'est la catastrophe. So,
but I also think, I'm going to just give my opinion on this. I think that we think it's a catastrophe because we've learned to believe it's a catastrophe.
Obviously.
And you know what? I don't feel the same around it, but I know some women that do. They just think,
You're
oh,
so
you know,
right.
but culturally speaking, we're in the prime of our lives, right? So we just,
Oh,
like for a
oh,
woman, you
never.
come into full prime in your 50s and 60s, I believe,
I
because you're
believe
in a
too.
different state of mind and stuff. But we're not talking about all that. But let's
Yeah.
just say the skin, we're talking about the skin and the loss of estrogen. And, you know, this is not a podcast about all the different changes that happen, or this episode particularly is not about all the different changes that happen, but the skin is not only on your face and your body. Like we have skin in areas, and all of these things that we go through, what we see
Oh,
visibly on our face and let's
yes.
say our arms and legs, also happens to other
Yes.
areas of the body.
The vagina
Absolutely.
and also like your
Yes.
hair. Your hair
Everything,
changes.
everything.
Absolutely.
And that
Absolutely.
means the
And
scalp,
that's why
sorry. Yeah.
the scalp, but there's massive hair loss with perimenopause, massive hair loss. So now, you know, we're looking at hair replacement therapies. We're looking at different formulas to help, you know, the thinning of the hair, the patches of hair literally disappearing.
Yeah.
And around the vagina, there are more and more, you know, estradiol gels or estrogen
Yeah.
creams
A lot of
to help
silent
with.
suffering there.
Absolument. Absolument. But it does
Well,
exist. They do exist.
I can only imagine, because even the changes in a woman postpartum is like, even I see 3 months postpartum, like I'm starting to lose like my normal hair before I was like the luscious. But also like in the vagina, like there's dryness when you're breastfeeding, like there's so much. So I can only imagine when you're going through like another huge change that things are going to
Yes.
be changing.
Hormones.
Yeah. And that's like
Completely.
permanent in a way, right? Like your menopause is permanent after, then like you're in a different state of your life there, whereas postpartum
Absolutely.
eventually like wears off and you go back to your normal state, and then
you balance out, right?
You balance out. So, yeah,
that's
exactly.
why there's so much conversation around HRT today. And HRT for years, I remember.
HRT or HRV?
HRT, hormone replacement therapy.
Yes.
Which has become very, very popular today. And it's been demystified because for years and years and years, and I'm not saying that there's not exceptions to this, but I mean, if I would even hear about it, it was absolutely not, because it was terrifying. You're going to cause cancer. You're going to have all this. And I'm sure there are cases that have that, but they're figuring out more and more the benefits of hormone replacement therapy and getting on it before, like in your perimenopause times and years, and not waiting till you're 60 where you're really in
the turmoil of it.
The turmoil of like you can't reverse it anymore, you know?
Exactly. Or you can't, you know, it's going to happen anyway. HRT is just, you know, helping you go through and mitigate some of the side effects that come with perimenopause.
Also, yeah, it's that, but also like cognitively, long-term cognitively, there's, from what I understand, there's a lot of evidence that says that, you know, just dementia and things like that, like it's in women, is largely because of estrogen. So there's so many things that we're discovering. I find it very, very fascinating.
Amazing.
You know, I find it very fascinating.
Tash, when it comes to your time, when it's going to be your time to get into menopause, you know, you still have quite a bit of time to get there. We're going to be so much more advanced. There's going to be so many more,
Thank God.
You know, like different therapies that'll be there for you to make it less difficult, as it is for us, for your mom's generation and my generation, because definitely, you know, estrogen has a massive impact on everything that we have to go through.
Yeah.
Like I'm on HRT now, and like to your point, Beate, some of my friends have breast cancer antecedents in their families. So doctors are still, you know,
cautious.
I'm not. Oui, exactement. But it depends on who you're talking to. In general, they'll be cautious. But if you don't have any antecedents, most doctors that have been really well trained, that have really looked at all the new studies, that are listening to the right healthcare professionals in this industry, are now debunking, because even the studies that came out 20 years ago weren't well done. They were done by men who had no idea.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. So let's get back to the skin. Like we talk about menopause, estrogen loss, and skin aging. But menopause is not the only responsible factor with skin aging. Like everything that you do with your skin in your 20s, 30s, 40s is really super hyper important, because when you go through that change of life, if you've done the things with your skin throughout your life with protection and let's say vitamin C's and proper hygiene of your skin, you will go through the menopause years much more with an easier transition than you would if you're all of a sudden starting there.
Absolutely. So definitely the primary, the primary effects of skin aging come from UV and pollution. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Environment,
That's for
yeah.
sure. We and the environment. So if you've started like we have, I'm sure Tash as well, coming from your mom, I imagine that by 15 you already had your perfect routine already
She
all
did. Yeah.
set out.
Yeah.
Good. Very good. Well, being in the industry for so long, Beate, you and I'm sure had very comprehensive routines of a good moisturizers, sunscreen, vitamin C serums, your vitamin A, right? At least
And
the
I do have
basics.
to give it to my mother, who was a Mary Kay representative, that
Ah,
got me
bravo.
into it, even though it was Mary Kay, and no, I'm not knocking it all, but yeah, like it was a perfect example that got me into the interest of wanting to hydrate my skin. I didn't use sunscreen, and I went in sun tanning machines, which I'm very upset about today that I did that. However, yes, good example set by our families.
They were, absolutely. And so I think, yes, definitely when you look around you, you look at your clients, and I look at my friends, for example, those that have been diligent in really protecting their skin throughout the years look much better than those that didn't, definitely. So, it's funny because now I have my friends who really look older than they are. Their skin looks older than they actually are, and they feel, and they look at me and what can I do? What can you give me? What are the best products? I'm like, honey, it's too late. Like, go and get a facelift and, CO2 laser that, and then we'll talk. But right now, there's not much I can do if you want to go back to what you want it to be, what you used to be.
Prevention is key when it comes to things like this, and then mitigating and enhancing the routine as you go through these years of life.
Absolutely.
Where your estrogen declines.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about alchemy, the elements of skin health. We've always believed that skin health starts from within, and that's why we love adaptogens. They help the body find balance, calm the stress that shows up on our skin, and restores steady energy throughout the day. Alchemy takes that science and makes it simple, a clean Canadian line of adaptogenic blends that support focus, mood, and resilience. Their life-enhancing blend comes with 3 flavors: original, matcha, and cacao, each one rich, grounding, and effortless to add to your daily ritual. A small shift that supports your skin, mood, and mind. Discover alchemy at beskinenvie.ca. That's BSKINENVIE.ca, and use SkinTalks15 for 15% off your first order.
But so how, like, if this isn't like inevitable, like all of this skin change, what can people do to sort of mitigate that and like kind of go into it with more of an ease, and it's not such a dramatic effect?
You know what? I think, first of all, it really depends on, there's several factors, I feel. First, you really need to accept the fact that this is going to happen, and that no matter what, if you haven't protected your skin or taken care of your skin since a young age, that overnight feel is going to happen. So instead of waiting for that moment, start earlier rather than later, and start with the basics. Go and see Beate and Natascha. Ask them for a complete routine with the basics. Okay. It depends on, do you want a layer? Do you want, I don't need, you know exactly what we're saying. Have that conversation with them so that they can at least start with a sunscreen, at least with a good sunscreen, and reapply, right? And then slowly but surely you can build a simple routine or a layered routine and bring in some treatments, etc. But at least have them go and follow a simple but comprehensive and protective routine. And that will help eventually when inevitably the collagen, you will have that collagen crash. Your jawline is going to hit gravity and it's going to hit your knees all of a sudden, and your neck is going to crape. You have no idea what happened. I hate iPhones for that because their FaceTime cameras are horrible. But definitivement, it's about starting earlier rather than later, and always starting with sunscreen.
It is. And I think that there's a couple of things that I would recommend anybody, and I just want to know your opinion on this. So we always know like a 4-step routine as a basic should be your cleanser. And always, for me, if you want to get into anything, it's a vitamin C for many, many different reasons. Your moisturizer, and then during the day, your protection. right? So SPF and then reapply depending on where you live and in your environment that you're working in and daily activities. But also retinol. For me, those are the foundations that if you do that
Foundation.
throughout your lifetime, starting at the right time, by the time you get to perimenopause and menopause, when your estrogen starts to decline, you'll just have to make some tweaks and bring in more lipidic nature creams,
Voilà.
firming serums. Like I know
Exactly.
SkinCeuticals, it's not about SkinCeuticals or SkinBetter Science, but they do have some high technologies and science-backed products that will really help to define the jawline and to support it. And couple that together with clinic treatments. Like you said, CO2 laser is really good for texture and tone. But there's other things that work on skin firming. Exless Ultra 360. There's the Zerf now that has recently come out that's really appreciated by a lot of people. Always complementing in maybe with some Botox, neuromodulators, and some fillers. And you really can
Absolutely.
help to smooth through this process if that's something that's a priority for you. But what I wanted to
Absolutely.
get into today, which I thought was so interesting and we really wanted to bring light of it, is that SkinBetter Science, one of the brands under the L'Oreal umbrella, recently launched a product specifically for menopausal skin. And I want to know all about this product because I haven't tried it yet. But I love the name. It's called Maestro Revive Renewing Serum. Maestro being the maestro of the orchestra, right? The conductor
Exactly.
and then
Love it.
the specific product that's targeting menopausal skin. Tell us all about it, please.
Pleasure. So I love how you said Maestro is the orchestra. Absolument. He leads the orchestra. So our Maestro, first, Maestro started out as the Maestro Active Serum.
Right, which
serum.
was really for bringing homeostasis back to the skin and for sensitized skin, right?
Maestro Active Balance Serum, as you know, acts like this, conductor of the orchestra. The orchestra is essentially the different skin cell pathways for optimal and healthy skin.
Yeah.
Now, when our skin isn't optimally functioning, which is pretty much all the time, unless you are very diligent with your, comprehensive routines and treatments, etc., Maestro is there to rebalance everything and to make sure that everything works the way it should, and that all of the treatments and other products that you put on will work exactly the way they should and give you the results that you need. So the whole thought process behind Maestro Revive was that women, as we know, in their 40s and 50s, especially perimenopausal and menopausal women, go through these huge fluctuations, and their skin essentially is slowly but surely breaking down. So the pathways and processes are declining at an extremely rapid rate. And that's where the thought of using these 9 plant adaptogens to help rebuild and refocus those pathways so that they can work better was really the whole idea behind Maestro Revive. But also, we also wanted to focus on the extreme dryness part of, what patients feel and say they feel most of the time. It's that first thing they feel. Why is my skin so dry? I've used everything under the sun. My triple lipid restore was amazing, right? My Trio Luxe was fantastic. And now it's just not doing it.
It's not enough. I need more. And we hear that all the time. I need more.
All the time. That's why there were 4 added extra adaptogens. They're essentially fatty acids that really help in rebuilding that lipid barrier and the lipid needs of the skin rebuilding skin barrier process. Okay. So that's what Maestro Revive first was built. Furthermore, there's also a lot of different things that are happening, right? Collagen and elastin breakdown, hyaluronic acid breakdown, not enough ceramides or cholesterol. So we really focused on the fact that we need that extra bit of antioxidants. And that's where the TAP technology was added. TAP technology really focuses on your internal antioxidants. It boosts your own natural internal antioxidants. So when those pathways aren't working well, the TAP technology goes into your skin cells and really boosts that own natural internal, antioxidant property, essentially.
Okay.
On top of that, you also have other antioxidants that work in really neutralizing the external factors, superoxide dismutase, astaxanthin, vitamin E, tocopherol also was added. And these are all about fighting the external antioxidants. So we really have a nice synergy of external and internal antioxidants to fight all of these broken down pathways due to oxidative stress. And lastly, now we're going really from the depth of the skin to the surface of the skin. We've added 2 types of ceramides, cholesterol, niacinamide, to really reinforce that lipidic content, that hydration content, the resilience of our skin barrier. So it really is your 360 for skin types that are feeling that unquenchable dryness to their skin, that lack of structure, that broken down structure because their scaffolding is essentially breaking down, right? That jawline, those deeper lines that we're seeing because of collagen and elastin breakdown. So it really is your 360 support for all of the different things that your skin is going through during these fluctuations. So it isn't essentially, it's not an estrogen replacement or an estrogen analog. It really is the perfect complement to any type of estrogen therapy that you might be on, right? Or even if you can't be on any estrogen therapy, at least it is going to give you exactly what your skin needs while you're going through these fluctuations.
Amazing.
So, but it's not something to be used alone, right? It's something that is to be used in complement with other products because it has its unique purpose. It's not a hydrator. It's really like a serum.
When you try it, Beata, you tell me.
Okay, I have to try it. What will I notice?
First of all of a sudden you have that feeling of, that, I'm sorry, I'm making these noises, but it almost feels like that. It's like that sponge that you really feel like your skin is drinking what you're giving it, essentially. It's nice and thick, but it's not oily. It almost gives you that, I love it. I love it. And what I love about it is that personally, I like a good cream. I like a good moisturizer. But during the day, around 3 or 4 o'clock, I always feel if it's too thick, I feel like I have like this kind of sheen or film on my face. And that's a big no-no for me. But Maestro Revive doesn't do that because it really penetrates and it just has that gorgeous texture.
Really helps to make your skin feel more hydrated and nourished?
Oui. Exact.
Okay. And what does it have an effect also on other things that can happen during perimenopause and menopause, like redness, or does it have any type of, I guess it's anti-inflammatory at the same time, having the antioxidant properties, right? So it's really preventing formation of, managing sun damage, I guess, to some degree, if it's reducing inflammation. Absolutely. So you get more of an even. What about with things like your pores or anything? Does it have any type of effect on things like that?
It doesn't have any effect on the pores per se, but in essence, what it does is that because it, that's really interesting. I have a question for you, Beata.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that patients in our age range going through these fluctuations, are you seeing a lot of patients that are suffering with pore issues, or is it more extreme dryness? I wonder.
No, we do see like pores seem to be something in a more aging skin that become more visible as you get older. And then you have the feeling that you want to hydrate your skin, but then the pores become more visible the more hydrated you are. So there's like this, I don't know. I feel like it's a big concern, and not just for people in menopause and perimenopause, but also younger people. We have a lot of, when you have an oilier skin, you tend to have more open pores. But as you age, most of the time your pores will get more refined because we get drier, but not always, because we're also applying lipidic products. So it's like this, I don't know. Yeah.
I know.
I hope that answers your question.
It does, 100%.
It's definitely a concern.
It is a concern, and it's interesting because you just made me think of something, and this is just a bracket between you and me. We're launching a new product, Ampra.
I've heard. I can't wait.
Voila. So it's and the thing is, Ampra shows a lot of great results on pores because as we get older, exactly right, the pores are stretched. Essentially, if you're someone that has issues with pores, has had issues with pores, even
And
though
then
your
your
skin gets
collagen
drier, exactement.
Yeah.
So it's almost like those pores are stretched. So they're even bigger, but they're not. It's just the lines because of those pores. And that's where Ampra comes in.
Okay.
But that's a discussion for some time.
Okay, so just
for another
just in a
time.
nutshell, I know it's not a podcast about Ampra, but what is it?
Really?
What is the product for?
So it's volumizing. It's your
Okay.
volumizing lotion. It's
Okay,
a
love it.
volumizing lotion. Yeah.
So
it's
is it a serum or is it
hyaluronic
more of a
acid.
cream?
C'est une lotion. It's a lotion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if normal oilier skin types.
Absolument.
Okay.
Absolument.
Okay. Love it.
So I
I
have
cannot
drier
wait.
skin. I put Ampra and then I put my triple lipid.
Okay.
Or
So
actually,
or
I'll put
your
my
trio.
Alpha.
Your trio too. You could put on
I'm
too.
not a trio lover. I'll be honest, but I will usually put either triple lipid or emollients.
Okay. Okay, so this product Maestro is to mitigate all the symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, to bring everything into kind of homeostasis for what your skin needs at that particular age.
Absolutely. Exactly right. So the results with Maestro Revive were really focused on hydration, barrier support, and oxidative stress. We looked at elastosis, and elastosis is essentially the breakdown of elastin, but it's not that it just breaks down. It actually accumulates in the skin and leads to those deeper wrinkles and that yellow kind of sallowness. So that's elastosis. So we looked at crepiness, we looked at elastosis, and the results were quite significant when using Maestro Revive compared to nothing at all. We also compared Maestro Revive to estradiol. Estradiol is your estrogen hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
And in many instances, Maestro Revive and estradiol did extremely well, or even sometimes Maestro did better in terms of the barrier repair, in terms of the hydration, and they did very similarly in terms of oxidative stress. So really you're looking at a product that, you know, when you were talking about redness, the first thing that came to mind were the adaptogens. Okay. The plant adaptogens have been used for centuries, and they really are, their main focus is anti-inflammation, is chronic inflammation, inflammaging. D'accord? So that's really how it helps with reducing the redness and reducing that, constant breakdown of our structural scaffold, essentially.
Okay. Okay, so ideally, in the perfect world, somebody who is new to SkinBetter Science and is going, in their mid to late 40s, wants to try the product. What's the perfect routine look like for them, for somebody who's got a normal combination skin type at that age? What would you recommend? And in which order?
Absolutely. So always, cleanse with your favorite cleanser, gel cleanser. If you want to recommend the SkinBetter Science, go straight into your Alto. Right, your Alto Defense and Repair,
which is
advanced.
Your vitamin C. If you've got acne prone skin, you can do the one that's more for acne prone skin, right? And even during menopause years, right?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. So that I would do the Alto Advanced. After Alto Advanced, I would definitely go towards my Maestro Revive.
Okay.
Definitely.
So it's
Maestro
after
Revive.
the vitamin C.
You put it after your vitamin C because the textures are very different. The Alto Advance is more of a lotion. The Maestro Revive, you will see, is more of a moisturizer. It's really
I love
really
it. I cannot wait to try. I'm going to stop home on my way home tonight and pick some up. I swear to God.
You should.
Yeah.
And then of course finish with a sunscreen. At night,
But a moisturizer also, like the Trio, would you put on Trio? Would you put on...
if needed, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. If needed, you can either do the Trio or you can do the Trio Luxe. Definitely. Okay. If needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now it really depends. It's interesting because both of you and I know Natascha, who is my colleague at SkinBetter Science.
Yeah.
She has quite dry skin and she loves the Maestro Revive, but she feels like it's not moisturizing enough. So she will typically add some Trio or Trio Luxe.
Yeah. I love the hydration feeling. Yeah. But if you're somebody with,
she just loves layers ultimately.
But I need to feel like my skin and my eyes are super hydrated. If they don't, I feel like I'm
tight, like claustrophobic.
But it's been years and years and years. I feel even in my 30s and stuff, I need hydration. But some people don't like that.
Absolutely. So you put a moisturizer on top, the one that suits you best, on top, and then finish with a sunscreen. And then at night, of course, you wash. If you want to do another round of Alto Advanced, you can. And typically what I'll do is I'll say, or Alpharet first, and then your Maestro Revive.
So you layer the Maestro on top. Okay, perfect.
Exactement.
Okay.
Exactement.
I have to say too, like just as a shout out, I'm very, very sensitive to retinol. I get very easily retinol burns, and you know, if I go too fast and I don't acclimate properly, yeah, my skin tends to be sensitive. I started using the Alpharet alone from day one, every night,
Me too.
and I never had not even one single little bit of redness.
Me too.
It's really the skin really tolerates that well. And it's a new type of technology also, which I love because it also contains glycolics, right? It has exfoliating factors in it, which is a very unique way to manufacture. Yeah, but if you're new to retinol and you want to try it, I highly recommend it.
I use it too every single night, and it's amazing.
It's really, really amazing.
Which I know is controversial since I'm breastfeeding, but
yes, snap.
No, but we had a conversation on the podcast, and the gentleman who was a founder of Envie, actually another brand, who's like very retinol A heavy. He said after like many clinical studies, the percentage of retinol that actually gets to the breast milk is so small.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I'm fine. Like my baby's fine. I'm going to still use my retinol. Like I'm not.
Did you use it during your pregnancy though? Or only
I started using it at the end of my pregnancy because at one point I was like, okay, I need to get into this. So I just started using it, and I've used it since like I was probably 39 weeks when I started. Like it was after the podcast, that the episode that we recorded that
Dr. Fernandez.
Exactly, that I started using it, and I felt confident using it, knowing that like there's such a small percentage of retinol that really gets, like, even if it does get to the breast milk, like it's fine, you know. If I'm gonna go and have a couple like chocolates or sugar and stuff like that, I know that's probably worse off for him than a little bit of retinol. Like, I'm sorry.
Well, you know, it's
Like,
it's a personal
sugars.
choice, right? When you get into, you have to make.
But that being said, my skin was very, like, my skin has been amazing. I've gotten a lot of compliments on my skin lately because I think that I've just been using the retinol, and it's such a good product. And I've been using it every single day. No redness, nothing. Like, and my skin was a little bit sensitive also.
No, your skin does look great.
I know.
Yeah, it does actually. It's
beautiful.
beautiful.
I use SkinBetter Science throughout my entire pregnancy.
Bravo.
Yeah.
So what does your routine look like? I don't care if you're using other things. I'd love to know what your routine is.
Well, my pre-birth routine is different now because now I'm a little. It was a cleansing gel. No, it was a Simply Clean. It was the Alto Defense. It was the Even Tone, the older one, not the reformulated one.
Right.
And then it was the
Trio.
No, I wasn't using.
Oh no, you used another brand, the IS Clinicals.
No, I used the Maestro.
Okay.
And then I used IS Clinical Reparative Moisture Emulsion, and that was it. And then the Even got reformulated, and I started using that one at the end of my pregnancy with the retinol. And then I haven't been using it. Right now, it's a completely different routine because I'm just like,
has to be fastest.
Yeah.
You know,
I would love to get back on my routine. I just haven't had the chance to honestly go to the office and get the products.
Yeah, that, and it's.
Why don't you take the time to settle into mommyhood, and then we'll talk about it.
But honestly, like I'll be honest, I was a Jan Marini like obsessive client, and I was scared to move over. Beate and Natascha really convinced me to move over to SkinBetter Science, and I love the products. Like I had no reactions, no breakout. Like my skin really, really, really liked it.
My skin loves SkinBetter Science.
So I'm very happy with that. That I had a good transition, because it's hard when you find a brand and your skin is like reacting very well to the brand and you have your routine. It's hard to move over. It's scary, you know, because sometimes you get the purging. But no, I really reacted well to SkinBetter, and I just like that there was no adverse reactions to anything, because that can happen, especially with like if you're pregnant, like your skin's already so hormonal and so much is happening. I had no adverse reactions. I was very, very happy.
So that goes to show you that the product's working for all different types of, the brand works for all different types of hormone
fluctuations.
And it targets, I really like the fact that this brand has come up with a product that's specific to what every woman goes through in their life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so, I when I saw that, I was like, okay, everybody was scared. Oh, it's so niche. It's so niche. guys, this is exactly, you're so out of it. You so don't realize how huge the demographic is of women going through this.
Yeah.
That even if
I
it's
think we're going to
niche,
see a lot more of it. We're going to see a lot more of it. Well, we're kind of we're already in a bit of a niche market that we're trying to open up and bring awareness to, because most of the professional and medical brands are more science and higher concentrations of ingredients and different formulations than you find in mainstream skincare. We know that in a general sense. But I just like so much the fact that we are tackling things head on, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it. I do forecast that, but I also, there's a lot of brands that we're seeing that are coming out with products that are directly linked to skin laxity, like
it's good.
GLP-1s. People that have had extreme weight losses, that have a lot of sagging skin and stuff like that. I'm also thinking that this product, because of loss of tone and density in the skin, it would be very good for people who have had massive weight loss also, because you're really, for all the reasons that you described earlier, right? Even though it's not targeting that market, I imagine that it would be beneficial for those people. So I think that we're going to start to see more and more of this, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah. But Beate, between you and me, Ampra is going to do that. Yeah. Laxity. It's all about the contour, the face contour.
Yeah,
cool.
I love that.
Cool.
Yeah, well, it's like people are going through this right now, so we have to find solutions for things like that, which I love. So Elsa, at every time we do a Skin Talks episode, we always close our session with 3 signature questions. So we'd like to start by asking you 3 questions. Just give us
to mind. It's like a rapid question. Yeah. So what is one thing every woman should understand about her skin before menopause?
So before menopause, what she needs to understand is that the skin is an active, breathing human, biggest organ of our body, and that it isn't, it doesn't fluctuate because of something you've eaten or because of, something you did, or it is all of these things. And very often we don't listen to ourselves. We don't actually understand what we're doing and what we're putting on our skin. Very often women will go towards the ingredient, right? Oh, I need to do retinols, but they don't listen to their skin. They cannot do retinols, or, oh, niacinamide is the new thing, but you're 12. Why are you doing niacinamide? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's all of these things. I really feel like women really need to first listen to good people around them, board certified dermatologists, people like you who do these great podcasts and go in depth into the skin and really teach on what is a comprehensive routine, and also be in tune with the small changes that their skin is going through as their hormones start fluctuating. They have to come to terms with the fact that they will have menopause. They will get there.
Yeah.
Listen to yourself.
Support it. So notice the little
intuitive
changes and support it along the way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Embrace it also at the same time. Okay.
Embrace it.
Yeah. Second question. What is one skincare myth about aging that needs to disappear?
That one size fits all. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. I can't do the one size fits all. It kills me. Oh, but this one's doing, has again, the hyaluronic acid serum. I want the hyaluronic acid serum. Why? Well, because apparently my skin is going to look amazing. No, talk to me about your skin. So again, right? It's the one size fits all.
The customization is super important. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Listening and asking questions.
What is one simple habit women can adopt today to protect their skin long term?
What do you think I'm going to say? What do you think I'm going to say?
Yeah, it could be a bunch of things. What's that?
Sunscreen.
Yeah.
Sunscreen.
I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Sunscreen.
Most important thing.
That's it.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of
Sorry.
people, like I see on social media, a lot of people are like, you don't need, it's not sunscreen, it's not the sun that causes cancer, it's the sunscreens, and people are getting really angry. I'm seeing a lot of things around that. I know, it's just, somebody pops off in one direction, and then everybody thinks, oh yeah, conspiracy theory, but no.
Seriously, I can't.
I agree.
There's so much debunking to do. So much.
I know.
But you are doing it. Good job.
Well, we're trying to.
We're doing our best over here.
It's our intention.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was very interesting.
I learned a lot for what's going to come in my future.
Me too. And I will stop. I'm going to stop on my way home and pick up one of those Maestro Revives. I am.
Please do. Oh,
I will. I'll give you my
Natascha or
feedback.
Fadi how you like it. I want it. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you, ladies. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Skin Talks.
If this episode inspired you, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen, please share with someone you love. And if you believe in thoughtful and empowering conversations that help you make better choices for yourself around your beauty and wellness, please rate and review the show. It helps us to grow our community, and we deeply appreciate it. Because this isn't just about skin.
It's about claiming your beauty, feeling strong, informed, and at home in yourself.
See you next week.